It's movie night at the Silver Age Cinema, and tonight we have two bangers, Fargo and A Simple Plan. Two icy tales where the greed hits harder than the cold. But first... In a quiet North Dakota town blanketed by snow, a desperate car salesman hatches a scheme that spins wildly out of control.
You want your own wife kidnapped.
Her dad, he's real well off.
So why don't you just ask him for the money?
See, these are personal matters.
What begins as a quick fix for his money troubles soon draws in a pair of ruthless criminals, a trail of bodies, and a community unprepared for the storm about to hit. But standing in their way is one small-town police chief who handles the mess with calm persistence and a smile that hides just how much she sees.
We got a shooting, and then this execution type deal.
Every clue brings her closer to the truth, while every mistake drags the conspirators deeper into chaos. In the land of frozen lakes and friendly smiles, danger cuts deeper than the cold, and survival is never guaranteed. Joel and Ethan Coen have always functioned as co-directors, even when only Joel's name appeared on the credits. Earlier film Barton Fink showed off their knack for the dark, offbeat storytelling, and The Big Lebowski sealed their reputation as masters of the oddball cult classic. In true Coen fashion, they couldn't resist a prank. The movie's famous true story disclaimer was completely made up. Frances McDormand stars as Marge, the small-town cop who keeps her cool while everything else goes off the rails. Before this, she stood out in Blood Simple, the Coens' gritty debut, and later showed up in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, a fiery drama that won her another Oscar. Well filmed, and she and her husband, director Joel Coen, were expecting their first child, which added an extra realism to her performance. William H. Macy nails the role as Jerry Lundegaard, the nervous car salesman whose bad decisions spiral completely out of control. Before this, he popped up in Homicide, the sharp crime drama, and later showed up in Shameless, the long-running dark comedy. Here he is recalling how far he went to get this role.
I was born to play that role. I understood it completely. I mean, it was instantaneous that I knew what that guy was about and how to play it. And I found out they were going to New York to see some actors. So I got my jolly little Lutheran ass on an airplane and I flew to New York and crashed that audition. I walked in I said, they said, "Oh, Bill." And I said, "Yeah, I'm worried about you guys. I'm afraid you're going to screw up your movie by casting someone else in this role." They went, "You want to read again?" And I said, "Yeah," and I read well. And I had worked on the dialect, which I think was important to them. And I said to Ethan, "If you don't give me this role, I'm going to shoot your dog." He'd just gotten a puppy. He laughed, thank God.
Steve Buscemi still sings as Carl, the fast-talking criminal who never knew when to shut up. Before this, he stood out in Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's bloody debut, and later showed up in Boardwalk Empire, the fabulous HBO series where he ran Prohibition-era Atlantic City. The Coens kept describing his character in the script only as
kind of funny looking,
a running gag Buscemi had a lot of fun with.
What the hell?
What the hell is up with this dude? He's shooting his shot and he's coming in hot.
No, why don't you sit over there? I prefer that.
Remember, kids, you miss every shot that you don't take. And Mike's taking his shots.
I always liked you.
Well, I always liked you,
I always
Mike.
liked you so much.
You go, Mike Yanaganti. Back to the review. 1996's Fargo is the kind of movie that sneaks up on you. One second you're giggling at the small town chatter, the next you're staring at the shocking violence on that endless white snow. The Coens had already built their reputation, but this is where they locked in their signature mix of dark humor and "did that just happen?" moments. Roger Deakins' cinematography turns Minnesota into a frozen canvas of dread and beauty. I could almost feel the cold. The whole cast are pitch perfect with their Minnesota nice accents. And another cast standout is John Carroll Lynch as Marge's steady husband Norm. Here he is describing his time making the movie.
Hello, Steve. It's John Carroll Lynch here. Congratulations on your YouTube channel. I actually went away for a few days and had to come back because they had to flip the schedule because there wasn't any snow. But I had to fly back in and shoot my scenes early, my going to bed scene. So I took a red eye and I got to the set. I put on pajamas and went straight into bed again. So that was a fun story for Fargo. We shot the bedroom scenes, and I think at one point I fell asleep and just was there throughout the setup asleep, and nobody woke me.
Fargo isn't polished to perfection, and that's exactly the point. It's messy, strange, and darkly funny in a way that feels unique decades later. It left such a mark that it inspired a TV series, one that's managed to capture the same offbeat humor and sudden bursts of violence in its own wild stories. Few movies manage to capture that blend of the absurd and terrifying so well. The Coens are some of my favorite filmmakers, and this one's definitely in the running for one of my favorites. My enjoyment rating for the snowy, bloody movie is an A+.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
In the frozen quiet of the countryside in Minnesota, three men make a discovery that could change their lives forever. A downed plane and a bag stuffed with more money than they'd ever seen.
Oh my God, look at this!
Those are $100 bills.
I bet it's drug money.
You know, what if this guy's a dope dealer? We're just like Robin Hood. It's a police matter now. What do you think we should do?
What if we didn't turn it in?
It's stealing.
It's the American dream in a gym bag. He just wants to walk away from it.
You work for the American dream. You don't steal it.
At first, the plan seemed simple. Hide the cash, say nothing, and walk away rich. But in a small town where everyone knows everyone, secrets don't stay buried. The sheriff starts asking questions, neighbors get curious, and soon the three men realize the hardest part isn't finding the money, it's keeping it. As suspicion grows and loyalties begin to strain, the promise of easy fortune turns into something far more dangerous. Choices become harder, the risk becomes sharper, and with every step, the line between right and wrong starts to blur. Because in the end, there's no such thing as a simple plan. Sam Raimi took a sharp turn with a simple plan, trading his usual wild camera tricks for a quiet, icy thriller. Before this, he was known for the Evil Dead movies, a wild mix of horror and slapstick, and later developed Spider-Man, the blockbuster that reshaped superhero movies. A cool little fun fact is he puts his trademark Oldsmobile into most of his movies, and it's here, parked in the snow. Bill Paxton anchors the film as Hank, the family man whose nerves always seem shot. Before this, he stood out in Near Dark, a vampire cult film, which we reviewed, and later showed up in Frailty, a dark, very underrated thriller he also directed. While filming, he admitted the movie's stillness made him more nervous than all the action-heavy stuff he'd done before. Billy Bob Thornton was nominated for an Oscar as Jacob, the awkward brother who makes up with a lack of smarts by being extremely loyal. Before this, he made his name with Sling Blade, a dark southern drama he also directed. And later showed up in Monsters Ball, a tough emotional story. Here he is describing how he feels about playing Jacob.
A Simple Plan was one of my favorite roles I ever did. I would consider it in my top 5. And I worked with my old buddy Bill Paxton in it and Bridget Fonda. Sam was a terrific man and a terrific director, an amazing experience. It was shot up on Lake Superior in Wisconsin in January, February, and March. And it was 60 below some nights. and right there on the lake, and snow up to here. Definitely one of the most physically challenging movies I ever did.
Bridget Fonda holds her own as Sarah, Hank's wife, who starts out practical and quickly gets caught up in the idea of easy money. You know how women do. Before this, she was turning heads in Singles, a laid-back Seattle romance, and later smoked weed in Jackie Brown, Tarantino's cool crime caper. She said trading in the usual stylish parts for Sarah's plain look was a challenge, but it gave her the chance to dig into something even grittier. Brent Briscoe rounds out the film as Lou, the loudmouth friend who sees a bag of cash as his ticket out. Before this, he popped up in U-Turn, Oliver Stone's offbeat desert crime tale, and later he showed up in Mulholland Drive, David Lynch's surreal Hollywood mystery. Briscoe and Billy Bob were real-life roommates earlier in their careers, and that's what added to their on-screen chemistry.
What the hell?
What the hell kind of crows are these? They're always watching and waiting. They're basically vultures. Luckily, birds don't eat humans, right? Oh my god! Back to the review. A Simple Plan looks quiet on the surface, but it's the kind of movie where every choice digs the hole a little deeper. Sam Raimi, usually the guy behind wild horror camera tricks, dials everything down here. No flashy moves, just cold, methodical tension that keeps building until you realize things could only end badly. It's a neo-noir set in a small town where ordinary people stumble into extraordinary trouble. The cast is excellent across the board. Besides our feature cast, the supporting players lock the tension in place and make every twist hit harder. What makes it memorable isn't just the twists, it's the mood. The build-up from, can we handle this? To, everything's falling apart. It's all about greed, guilt, and how far people will go when they think nobody is watching. And the whole time you're asking yourself the same question, would you keep the 4.4 million? My enjoyment rating for this tense, icy movie is an A. When I watch movies, I like to dip my popcorn in some mustard.
I just think I'm gonna barf.
I guess it's not for everybody. Alright, see you next time at the Silver Age Cinema.